Hello there, friends and followers, and welcome to the Q8 Pilot channel and another Explain 11 video. Today, we are going to be taking a look at the Reality Expansion Pack for the Carenado PA-31 Navajo. For the purpose of our review today, we are currently situated at Anacortes, or 7-4 Sierra. For those of you unfamiliar with the Reality Expansion Pack by Simcoders, it is an add-on that brings the operations of a light GA aircraft to life in Explain 11. It is jam-packed with features, including code-driven flight dynamics, interactive walk-around, realistic onboard systems and procedures, mass and balance tool, complex damage system triggered by pilot actions, as well as simulation state-saving economic system, 100% custom piston engine, as well as engine preheater, interactive towing, and an electrical and avionics system. Not to mention that it is also equipped with realistic landing gear, custom simulation of hypoxia, and lots of tips to help you learn and operate the aircraft as close as possible to real life. In this video, we are going to be taking a look at the features of the Reality Expansion Pack for this Carenado PA-31 Navajo. We will perform the walk-around inspection, start the aircraft from its cold and dark state, and take it for a short flight from Anacortes to Kilo Bravo Lima, India. Once you have successfully installed the Reality Expansion Pack, you'll be able to access the control panel by hovering your mouse on the left side of the screen. As you can see, the control panel gives you access to the kneeboard, the mass and balance, the walk-around, the tow feature, maintenance report, as well as the automatic engine start. The kneeboard gives you access to the aircraft checklist. The checklists are included for normal operations, emergency, as well as the reference speed card. The normal operations checklists are available from the before start engines all the way to shutdown procedures. Though I'm a big supporter of the Reality Expansion Pack and have reviewed almost all their products, I feel that this edition of RIP should have introduced something new. For example, we could really make use of the interactive checkboxes. So when you clear an item, you are able to check it, perhaps add an eye icon that would direct the user to that exact location of the instrument, something to really bring this a notch up. Having seen so many add-ons and the development of payware add-ons for Explain for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I truly believe that it is time for the Reality Expansion Pack to get an overhaul and really introduce new features for increased usability and interactivity. From the mass and balance, you are able to set the aircraft payload in terms of passengers. You can do this very granularly per seat, as well as your cargo, your fuel tanks. You can fill the tanks from within the control panel. You can also look at your landing CG prediction, and you have both a summary and a visual representation of the center of gravity to ensure that the aircraft is airworthy. The walk-around feature gives you the ability to perform the pre-flight inspections. Let's take a look. We need to check that the magnetos are off and the electrical switches are in the off position, which they are. Next, we need to make sure that the master switches are on. And next, fuel quantity is checked, and it looks like we have sufficient fuel for our flight. Next, we check that we have 3 greens for the landing gear, which we do, and that the cold flaps are open, which they are. The walk-around takes you through every required step in the pre-flight inspection. You can also check your elevators simply by clicking here. You can also check the rudder movement. You can check your ailerons, and so on and so forth. The Reality Expansion Pack also introduces the tow feature, which allows you to tow the aircraft. The maintenance report of the Reality Expansion Pack is where things get really interesting. As you can see here, we have the status information of all the aircraft components and all the failures as well. As you can see, cylinder 1 is in good condition. The cylinder compression is noted here, and the oil fluid as well as the quantity of the oil. Now, it is worthwhile mentioning that the oil type has to match the current conditions for optimal performance. So the viscosity of the oil is actually simulated with the Reality Expansion Pack. You can also see that the oil filter is currently clean, oil pumps and the propellers are good, your electrical fuel pumps are in good condition, spark plugs are okay, and by the way, you will fail your spark plugs if you do not operate this aircraft the way it should be operated. Your starters are okay, vacuum pumps, and the economy system is not enabled. We'll get to that in a minute. You also have the ability to upgrade your engines, so you can either use the factory injectors or you can use tuned injectors. Let's go ahead and use the tuned injectors for our flight. The Reality Expansion Pack equips this Carenado Navajo with a preheater for winter operations. As you can see, the current CHT temperature is 163 degrees, and we are good to go. The battery condition can be viewed under the Electrical System tab, and as you can see, the battery is in perfect condition. We can also check the avionics component condition through the Avionics tab. The Reality Expansion Pack brings to life all the aircraft instruments, and if you mistreat the aircraft, you will fail these components. The pilot emergency oxygen system is fully simulated as well, and you can also see that the landing gear and braking system status is also simulated. As you can see, there is some tear and wear visible on the left and right tires. This is due to my previous landing with the brakes on. Let's go ahead and fix them. For extra entertainment, the Reality Expansion Pack offers you 3 economy systems: a standalone system that ships with the Reality Expansion Pack, and integration with FS Economy and XCPL Pilot. By enabling the standalone system, you will have to pay for all aircraft part repairs, so be careful and be wise flying your aircraft. The time has come for us now to put the Reality Expansion Pack to the test. We are going to start the aircraft from its cold and dark state using the REP provided checklist and fly to Kilo Bravo Lima, India. We are going to maintain 2,000 feet for the duration of our flight. Let's get started. We have now completed the pre-flight inspection and ready for engine start. Our battery master are both turned on, the alternator switches are turned on. We're going to make sure that the passenger seat belt and non-smoking signs are both turned on with the position light in the on position in preparation for engine start. Now we are going to follow the normal engine start checklist. Master switch is turned on. The anti-collision lights, we're going to turn those on. Throttle is 1/2 inch open. Prop control forward. Fuel boost pumps are on till 6 gallons per hour, then off. So we're going to turn on the fuel boost pumps here, 1 and 2. The mixture is on idle cutoff, prop clear, and now we can start the engines. The magnetos are already turned on for both the left and the right engine. We are going to start with the left engine first. Now, once we start the engine, we need to advance the mixture when the engine starts, and then we're going to maintain 1,000 RPM for the throttle. We're going to begin with the left engine first. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. There we go. And advance the mixture. And we want 1,000 RPM. So we're going to reduce the throttle here a bit. And as you can see now, we have 1,000 RPM. Now we're going to repeat the same steps for the, we're going to put the throttle back here for the right engine. And let's go ahead and start the right engine. There we go, we have a start. We advance the mixture. And we have 1,000 RPM as well on the right engine. We have a good start on both engines. And if we follow the checklist, again, throttle is 1000 RPM, oil and fuel pressure is checked. We can now turn on our avionics, and the avionics switch is located right here. So we're going to go ahead and turn on the avionics master switch. We have now completed the before taxiing checklist and ready to taxi to the runway. Parking brake is released, and we're going to give the aircraft a little power. And we're going to keep 1000 RPM here as we taxi to the runway. Beautiful scenery here of Anacortes by Orbex. Right, our mixture is good, but if we increase mixture, as you can see now, it says the spark plugs will fall if the engine RPM is low and the mixture is pretty high. So we're going to reduce the mixture and we're going to increase the throttle, and now the message is gone. And as you can see, this is very realistic behavior. Reduce the speed a little bit as we taxi to the runway. We are going to maintain 2000 feet for the entire flight. And here is our turn. Now for the short runway, what we're going to do is we are going to hold the brakes, and let's see here, let's make the turn. All right, let's bring the aircraft to a stop here before departure. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that the mixture is on full rich. And what we'll do is we're going to give the aircraft full power. Right, we are approaching the runway. The mixture is rich. Let's make sure the landing lights are on, which they are. The runway here at Anacortes is a short runway, so we're going to need all the power we need to lift off at 73 knots. The mixture is now at full rich, and we have set the flaps for takeoff. Let's go ahead and give it power. And we will release at about 2500 RPM. All right, here we go. And we will lift off at about 73 knots. Some really strong winds there. Whoa, whoa. And lift off. Oh, look at the wind. Wow. Right, positive rate, gear is going up. And we can retract the flaps at about 95 knots. There we go. Some really strong wind there at takeoff. And what we're going to do is we are going to continue to climb to about 2,000 feet. Our destination is not too far. Okay, we continue the climb to 2,000 feet. And we're going to begin leveling off now. And reduce power. And we have now trimmed the aircraft for cruise. And we're going to continue until we reach our destination at Kilo Bravo Lima, India. We are not going to be using the autopilot for this flight today. It flies lovely and as advertised by Simcoders. Right, the runway is right to our left now. We're going to begin reducing our speed and descent towards the runway. We're going to make sure the props are Full forward again for landing. Mixture is full rich. That's the runway right there. Let's go ahead and lower the landing gear. There we go. Let's watch our speed. Tell you, it really is a joy hand flying this aircraft with the Reality Expansion Pack. And if you like general aviation aircraft, the Carenado PA-31 Navajo with the Reality Expansion Pack is definitely a lot of fun. Let's watch our speed here and keep it at about 95 knots or so. A little too low. All right, let's introduce flaps. We're looking good. A little bit of crosswind there. And flaps full. And at about 80 knots. Should be suitable speed for landing. Bit of a long landing and touchdown. All right, we've made it safely to our destination. Let's go ahead and taxi to the parking area. Let's retract the flaps. And as you can see here, it's complaining again about the RPM being too low. And we'll take a look at the maintenance report once we bring the aircraft to a stop and see how well we've done. One of the things you really need to be careful about is to make sure that the avionics are turned off before you turn off the aircraft engines. We're just going to go right here to the left and to the parking area ahead of us and bring the aircraft to a complete stop. We can now turn on our avionics, and we can turn off the position lights. We can turn off the anti-collision lights. It says the spark plugs will... okay. So it's complaining about the spark plugs because the mixture is on full rich and the RPM is quite low. So we need to give it a little more RPM to take it about 1,000 RPM to make sure our spark plugs are operating in optimal conditions. As you can see now, the message is gone, and what we can do is now kill the mixture, and this will obviously turn off the engines. As you can see here, engines again, nice animations there on the aircraft engines. And now we can turn off the rest of the switches here, and we can turn off the magnetos. And all is good. We can turn off the master battery switches and the alternators as well. Let's take a look now at the maintenance report, and let's see if we have broken anything. It looks like everything is still in perfect condition. Everything is okay. Everything is okay here. And all our tires are in good conditions, and we are ready now for the next flight. My concluding remarks on the REP Reality Expansion Pack by Simcoders for this Carenado PA-31 Navajo. It does deliver on what it promises to deliver. It definitely does add that extra layer of realism and brings this aircraft closer to life in X-Plane 11. In my view, the time has come for the development team at Simcoders to introduce additional features into the Reality Expansion Pack. Interactivity is one of the things on the top of my list. Having said this, the Reality Expansion Pack still delivers on what it promises to deliver, and I give it a final score of 9 out of 10 with the Q8 Pilot seal of approval. And as usual, if you have any questions, please do post them in the comment section below. Until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye for now.